Hey there, if you've just been invited as a coordinator on RTO Pilot, this is just a really quick video on what the coordinator portal is and some of your capacity and functionality within this portal. So essentially overall, what this portal allows you to do is have access to all of the information for any of the upcoming training between you and the RTO that you're working with. And as well, it'll allow you to potentially request classes for the future, and also see student details and student information in terms of how they're progressing through their training. And then post-training, you can also bulk download certificates as well. So I just really quickly want to run through a few different bits and pieces of the coordinator portal here and what you can actually do in this portal. So the first thing, when you sign on, you'll basically have this section here, which has all of the different corporate bookings associated with your business. So I'm just going to run through all of the different titles here. So the name, this is essentially what the RTO has decided to title that particular corporate booking. Each corporate booking has its own set of courses assigned, its own set of classes, and students enrolled as well. So I've got a few different examples here. One of them is, Rio Tinto Q1 corporate training. One of them might be July first aid, April first aid, whatever it is. Essentially, they will host a bunch of different information within those corporate bookings. The RTO name, so depending on what RTO you're working with, you might be working with multiple RTOs and they will show up here. Paid externally, this essentially means that you as the business will be paying for your students' training. If it's yes, that means you will get invoiced later. If it's no, then it means that the students will be paying themselves. Purchase order number. This is the purchase order number that's associated with that particular corporate, noting that each new invoice can actually have a new purchase order number added to it as well if you have multiple invoices per corporate booking. The coordinators here, so these are essentially the main points of contact. This is what your role is, and this is the main points of contact from the business that will be helping with the actual coordination of the training. So here we can see we've got John Doe associated, Manning, John Doe, and if I click on my bookings only, then it will only show the blue ones, which are the ones that I'm associated with. I'm associated with all these, but imagine if there's a few that I'm not associated with, they would disappear there. Then of course the creation date is just when it was created. So in the people tab, this basically shows all of the different coordinators associated with the company. So as the main coordinator, I can invite new coordinators. I just need to add their email here. But otherwise, this will basically just have the details of the coordinators who you want to have access to this sort of information. And then the locations, this is where you can basically add and edit locations for the training that are going to be held for you guys. So if you have any on-site training, you can add a new location here and just add the details of that location. So then the RTO that you're working with can select that location as the location for their training. So now that we've gone over the overall bits and pieces associated with the corporate booking, what can you actually do in here? So if you drill into a particular corporate booking, you can actually see a whole host of information about that particular booking in terms of the courses, the classes, any class requests, and the actual enrollment information as well. So within here, you can also share the class enrollment links as well with you and your team. So that way you can really easily have your team enroll self-serve into the particular classes that you want them to enroll into. So the first thing, I'll just quickly run through the different parts of an actual corporate booking and then how you can actually action them. So the booking details here basically give an overview of the actual booking itself. You can see which coordinators are associated with this booking. Here we can see the courses that are associated with the booking along with the price that has been assigned for that booking. Here we can see the different classes as well. And then here we've got the class requests, which we can easily request additional classes in here. And we can also see the student enrollment information here. So if I was wanting to share the enrollment links with the students who are wanting to enroll in the classes, we've got three different options. So we can either share all of the courses and all of the classes associated. So we can share all of the Provide First Aid classes and all of the CPR classes at once. We can do that by clicking the Share All Courses page. Here we can choose to either show the public classes, or if we only want them to do private classes, then we can leave that unchecked. So if I click on show public classes, I then have this link here, which I can copy and add into a new separate page. We now have those 2 courses that we mentioned, and I can have a look and see all of the different classes associated. We can see these ones here are the private classes, and we can see these ones are the public classes. So your students can really easily filter down and find a class that works best for them if you've got multiple classes running. And then from there, basically all they need to do when they click to enroll now, they just go through the process of adding their name, email, and phone number. They'll then be sent an email to confirm that they have given the correct information. And then once they've done that, then they will be taken through to the student portal. So because this is a paid externally enrollment, they won't need to pay, of course. But if there was a non-paid externally enrollment, they would need to pay whatever the rate assigned was. So that's one view where you look at all of the courses and all the classes. Another view here, what you can do, if you only want the student to enroll in a particular course, you can select just, let's say, the provide first aid here. If I click on that one, I can then choose to either show public classes and choose earliest and latest start dates. And then I can also basically just copy this URL. Again, once I add that to a new page, that will then show just the first aid classes here, which we can see, and I can jump in and again find a class that works for me, go through the enrollment process and add those details here. The final way that we can actually share classes is actually by sharing a specific class. So on the right hand side here, we can actually see when the classes start, and all we need to do is basically click the share class enrollment page button. And again, that will basically allow us to share a specific class with our cohort. So that way they are only enrolling in a particular class. So again, you've got either the all courses and all classes view. You can do a specific course where the students can select the class that works best for them, or you can share the individual class itself, which they'll then go through this process. Once the student goes through that process, they will then pop up down here on this enrollments tab. And this is where you can then monitor their progress, make sure they are actually enrolled in the first place, check that they have completed their online learning through this LMS progress button here. And then once these students actually completed the training, you can also download certificates as well. The last thing in here that you can do as well is actually request classes. What you can do is basically choose the class you want to request, select how many students you think there will be, and then choose a date for the training. So once you submit that request, you'll see it pop up here. If the RTO accepts that request, they will basically jump in on their portal, accept it, and then this 15th of April provide CPR class will just pop up here, which you can then share the links internally again. So hope this covers all the questions that you've got. If you need anything, you can always reach out via the support channels here. We do have a bot that which will get back to your questions, or will also jump in and help out there as well. So yeah, I hope that covers everything, and feel free to reach out if you need anything else. Thanks.